Hello, morning Cappy. How's your day going? Oh, I'm so tired. We're gonna do Tears of Themis tonight, and then I'm gonna call it a night. I don't know why I'm so tired today. Maybe I'm just like dehydrated. But we have some trailers to watch, and we have a new event. So I thought we could do the story on it just for fun. Probably not gonna spend too long on it. Yeah, I saw Google Classroom, dude. It's crazy. History repeats itself because people are entitled. Okay, so let's start this. Okay, Tears of Themis has a new event, and I'm excited to watch it. It's called Forever Young. I don't know if the event has like officially started in the game because I'm pretty sure this PV came out today. But we'll watch all the three versions that are available. First, let's start with the Chinese dub. Monday, Sunny for Academy.
姐姐
That's cute.
有没有兴趣和我一起去更广阔的世界冒险呢？
Wow, what a pose. So dynamic.
刚跑了几圈，觉得有点热闹。
Oh my god, the water
怎么
fountain.
你的眼神怎么怪怪的？这里很安静吧？是个非常适合思考的地方。
Oh,
我也是在机缘巧合的情况
look
下
at Rosa's
发现这里
hair.
的。
It's so cute.
这个镯子很适合你，
Oh.
可以再陪我去一个地方吗？我有很重要的话想告诉你。
That's so cute.
我
Oh my god.
我
We're going Stargate. There's a
我刚
firework.
才说的是，
It's gonna be
我
the
想和你看今后每一场流星。
it's gonna be the firework cut him off thing. Oh, I love
这
that
枚
trope.
小小的奖章，我会永远的保存好它。
Your boy Luke got
这样
drip.
看
Well,
见
he's wearing a
就能
school
随时想起
uniform. I
这
don't
段
think
时
that's
间
actually
关于我
drip,
的回忆。
Cabby.
我一直坚信，分别只是暂时的，哪怕时间的错落让我们无法一起毕业，
Wow, that is a
我也
mess.
想牵着你的手前行。
这是你给我写的信，
He shouldn't be wearing a hoodie underneath his uniform.
再给我看。我会在不远的前方一直等你，陪你走到终点，甚至更远。
Aw, that was cute. Very pretty. Oh, there's more. So I think they're gonna show like event stuff. Let's see what we're gonna be doing. Okay, so the main event hasn't started yet. It starts 4:30, which is next week. Aw. I kind of wish that they would draw them to look a little bit younger though. Event invitation are youthful days. Oh, the invitations are cute. There's a bubble tea in Marius's. Oh, you mean in his jacket? Yeah, he has got a hoodie under the jacket, but I only saw him under the or at the, what's it called? We first saw him at the water fountain. And now that I look at that hoodie, it's kind of ugly. Yeah, that's not a cute hoodie. I'm sorry, Luke, but I guess it fits into his character. I like Vin's vest actually. Vin's vest is cute. Marius's disheveled appearance is quite nice. Very delinquent coded. That's because he doesn't have drip. He has bad fashion sense. You need to accept that, Cappy. Or accept that about yourself. Okay. Campus challenge. Oh, that's cute. This looks really cute. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, it's a shame how much influence Harry Potter has had just on modern society, right? I'm not a fan of it, but it is what it is. That outfit is so cute. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. The new event themed outfit. Oh, I'm definitely getting Artem's. I like that they have added like animations of like Artem taking a drink from the milk carton. Oh, that's wow. Dude, whoever's working on the 2D live animations are dang, working really hard. Oh, I guess it's not very Hogwarts themed because two of them have the same yellow tie. I think I just saw. Yeah, I think. So it's not like a 1-to-1, which is good because honestly I'm sick of it. But okay, let's look at Japanese. This time I'm gonna listen to their voices a little bit more. There we go. Okay. I do like that jump. Oh my gosh! Listen to his voice, One-san. Hi, Laris! You're just in time for a cute Themis trailer. Hazuyuki is amazing. Ah, wait, no. Vin's tie is green. Darn.
君に似合っている。もう少し付き合ってくれないか。君に伝えたい大事な話があるんだ。
Artem, I'll go anywhere with you. It's a high school setting, Alaris. We're doing high school AU.
すべての流れ星を君と一緒に見たい。
So cute.
この小さいメダル一生大切にするよ。これを見れば俺たちの思い出が蘇ってくる。
Wait. I was like, why doesn't like Luke's really hit me? And then I realized they actually went to high school together. It's not a high school AU. Rosa and Luke actually went to high school together.
一時的なものだよ。一足先に卒業しちゃうけどさ。あんたと手をつないでいきたい。
あなたが
Since he's the childhood friend.
今度会った時にまた見せて。
Wait, did Rosa write a confession letter
待っているよ。最果ても
to Vin? Oh my god. I think Vin should actually be the one who's like got a more disheveled appearance, right? Because he's you know, Vin. And he doesn't get out of bed until like noon. Okay. Oh. Time for Korean. I'm always excited to hear Artem in Korean. 소년 다음.
누나, 같이 더 넓은 세계로 모험을 가는 건 어때?
That Nuna.
방금 몇 바퀴 뛰었더니 좀 덥네. 왜 그래? 눈빛이 좀 이상한데?
여기 정말 조용하지? 생각하기에 딱 좋은 장소야. 사실 나도 우연히 발견한 곳이야. 이 팔찌 너랑 잘 어울려.
Oh my god.
같이 어디 좀 가줄래? 너한테 하고 싶은 말이 있어.
I can't deal.
사실
Ah!
아까 한 말은 그냥 앞으로도 같이 별똥별을 보고 싶다.
Oh my god.
이 메달은 평생 간직할 거야. 볼 때마다 지금 우리의 추억이 떠오르게.
난 이별이 일시적인 거라고 생각해. 시간이 어긋나서 같이 졸업하진 못하지만 누나 손잡고 나란히 걸어가고 싶어.
Aww. Marius's eyes are very pretty.
이거 나한테 쓴 편지야? 다음에 만나면 또 보여줘. 항상 멀지 않은 곳에서 기다릴게. 종점까지. 아니, 그 너머 더 먼 곳까지.
Oh my god. That was so pretty. I can't wait. So the game says there's some event on right now, but maybe it's just like a precursor to the main event, which will, I guess, be on April 30th. So we'll have new cards for me to procrastinate on. I can't wait. Vin has no right. Vin always looks really good, and it's very upsetting, right? Right? Very upsetting how good Vin looks, right? Ah, he's so pretty. Okay. Okay. So we've watched that. Now we can look at the actual game. Let me on. Hello, Alaris. How have you been? What's up? I hope your morning is going fine. Are you at work? Let me turn on the stuff here. Oh, what was I looking for? Phone link. Okay. It always takes me a moment to remember how to get into the game. Profoundly stop using the word profound incorrectly. Na 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 na. There we go. There's the desktop sound. Just got to get the game on the screen. Okay. There's too many misunderstandings with your coworkers. Oh no, that sucks. I've had to talk to coworkers about stuff and it's very exhausting. I'm so tired of it. Got a meeting like on Friday too, so I have to like prepare and stuff. Ugh. I wish like communication between coworkers just wasn't like so hard, you know? I don't know what this is. Guess I'll click on it later. Okay. I've logged in for 999 days. Sure. Oh, wow, that's cool. All right, let me just very quickly take care of all of my dailies. I haven't logged into this game at all today. Everything is maxed out, apparently. I thought I did, but my memory's pretty hazy, so it's possible I'm just remembering yesterday. Because, yeah, normally this stuff is done, so it looks like I didn't log in at all today. Okay, let's see. We have this new feature, and I don't really understand what it is. But Standing off to the side with a coffee cup in hand. Good companions. Ended the call with a hint of weariness. During his hospital stay, he had nightmares when he was forced to make a choice. He was never alone. His efforts. Okay. I think, yeah, I'm gonna come back and read these. I haven't read these yet because they're just a lot. I haven't been doing anyone else's. I really just do Artem's and then I leave. As usual, you know? You were watching, You Wish That Too. You were watching a show lately. It's a cop show. Frank's the cop making a song with his band called Arrest Me But Make It Sexy, and now it's playing on stop. Oh my gosh. I started watching a Korean drama again, which is like, you know, it's been a while. So I'm watching He's Diner, and it is, I was like kind of like curious what kind of drama it was going to be, because it looked like a comedy, but then I was like, but there is time travel and a historical figure who I looked it up, and it's the writer of Hong Gil-dong, which is a famous like Robin Hood type character in Korean like folklore, right? And Monday I watched like episode 9. There's only 10 episodes, but Monday I watched episode 9, and I was like, okay, I guess I should look up who Hyun is, like, and what happened to him. And so I looked it up, basically when the characters did in the drama. And he was, he died a very painful death. So I'm like, things are real dark right now. And I'm like, okay, I thought this was a comedy. It's very good, though. It is, like, very funny, most of it. So it's like a balance of funny and also... yeah, things have hit quite a dark turn. The romance in it isn't as like... I feel like it's not a great romance. It's not bad. It's typical. I just feel like the two main characters, they have very good chemistry as like friends, but they don't have a lot of chemistry romantically, which is fine. Hi, Beck. We watched the Forever Young trailer. We're gonna do Themis stuff now. Today's a Themis day. How are you doing? But yeah, it's pretty good. Like the story is very interesting. And I ended up doing a bit of a quick dive into Wikipedia to learn more about the character that the main actor plays. This historical figure who's like a real person, right? So I'll tell you, because you know it's always interesting, right? There's some very funny scenes in the show, where like the main female character, the main girl, calls him like a boomer because he's like, you know, he's a bit old-fashioned because he's from a long time ago. But then he's like, oh, I'll have you know, from my time I was considered very very progressive and liberal, and he was, right? But yeah, like obviously in modern day Korea he would not be considered as like completely as such. You're taking an office day today, so you'll be here. Oh, okay. Oh, yay. Arrest me and make it sexy. Sell me to some meth, please. Oh my gosh. So the historical figure. Oh, so I guess like since Beck is sticking around, yay, I can. I'm talking about a K-drama that I'm watching. It's called He's Diner, and it's about. It's not about cooking. I mean, it is, but it also isn't. I don't know. I'm like, who made this plot? I'm only watching it because my favorite EXO is in it. I'm not only watching it. I'm actually enjoying it. But the only reason I became interested or aware of this drama, because I don't think I would have chosen to watch it otherwise, is because my favorite EXO is acting in it. And it's about Hogyun, who is a famous historical person in Korean history, who time travels 400 years into modern day Korea, and he's trying to find his way back and whatever. And he gets like into some shenanigans. Yeah, if I'm watching a drama, it's usually because of an EXO member or a Sonyashide member who was acting in it that I like a Girls' Generation member. So it's also interesting. Oh, shower! Yay! Good luck. I was listening recently to somebody talking about how transitioning between stuff is pretty hard, and I was like, God, that's me. And then they gave the example of showers, and I'm like, now I feel like super called out because yeah, I mean, and I'm aware, but yeah, I'm always reminded how difficult it is for me to do things like showering because I have such a hard time. I don't know what it is about showering that's just really hard to get started on. But yeah, so let me see. So the historical figure that he's playing, that he's based on, his name is Hogyun. And Hogyun was the son of a noble family, like the third son or something, right? Same, right? Oh, it's so hard. So it's the son of a noble family and third son, and his family was quite brilliant. There are 5 siblings. Actually, it's kind of funny because it's the very stereotypical anime type of family, of successful family, right? Where most of the family was quite intelligent and gifted, right? So his sister, I think his older sister was a famous poet in her own right? And he also wrote poetry. And he also got the highest marks on the civil service exam, and he rose in position because he was quite gifted, but he was also exiled multiple times because his views were quite progressive. And he would keep doing shit so he was interesting to learn about. He had a wife and a son, and they both died during the Japanese colonialization of that time, which made him very sad. And I don't think I guess he didn't remarry, but he was basically a very free going kind of type of guy who would make friends with people that he wasn't supposed to make friends with, right? So he made friends with a group of illegitimate sons, right? Illegitimate noblemen's children, right? Who they were looked down upon, and he also made friends with courtesans, right? Before you shower, you hate water. During shower, you love... Yes! Same! Oh my god, same. Totally relatable. Your only recent historical dramas you're watching with Artem's Gufang card, you will be picturing this character's... Oh, yeah, do it. To be honest, I feel like Artem type would I feel fit this type of casting a little bit more. My favorite EXO is really cute, but he's very baby-faced. And so he doesn't have, I feel if it's good that I watched this drama before looking up this guy, because I feel if I'd known who this guy was, I would be this is a weird casting. Because you just don't usually imagine that type of person to be casted with a very young looking type of guy. My favorite EXO is actually just a couple years younger than me, but he has such a baby face that he looks way, way, way younger, right? Also, when Hogyun died, he was 48. So Hogyun died at age 48. My EXO does not look 48. And they keep calling him Ajashi in the drama because his nickname is Homeless Ajashi, and he doesn't look anything like an uncle, right? I'll show you a picture because he's so baby faced. Yeah, to live that long at 48, right? But yeah, my favorite EXO does not look 48 at all. He doesn't even look close to 48. Let me see. Actually, let me show you exactly what he looks like in the drama, just because that's, I think, easier than, or better than to like show you just generally what he looks like. Let me show you. But it's very, very funny, like just that they even allowed this to happen. So this is him, right? He just looks very young. Like he's known for a baby, like having very young looking face. Right? So I'm like because yeah, Hugyoon died at age 48, right? Okay, and now I'm gonna tell you about how Hugyoon died, okay? So, actually, yeah, I'll show you a couple more pictures. Oh, here's him like in the show too. So it's not just like, oh, that picture is touched up and that's why he looks so young. Like even in the show, he just looks very young. Like this is how he looks, even in the show, right? Look at this one. He's such a baby in this one. Oh god. So yeah, so Hugyoon. Okay. Yeah, I want to look that young at 48. Me too. My god. So Hugyoon was he made friends with like this group of illegitimate sons. He made friends with courtesans. He made friends with like the common people. He was very interested in the common people, and he felt like it was very unfair that some people didn't have the same opportunities to like use their talents. He apparently believed that everybody has a gift granted to them from the heavens, right? And like that was a blessing to them, and he just didn't feel like it was fair that they couldn't like take advantage of that just because they weren't noble born and stuff. You want to look that pretty at 48? Me too, right? He's very pretty. He's very pretty. And then he kept getting like exiled, and then finally he died at 48 because he got implicated, and he never confessed, by the way. Also, they tortured him. Oh, so the way that they do, like, I mean, it's pretty common, like in like these times, right? Where like if they want to accuse you, if the government basically wants to accuse you of something, they'll just accuse you of it and torture you until you confess, because you don't want to be tortured anymore. So obviously many wrongful convictions, but it looks like from the historical records he was conspired against, because they did keep records of that. So they did, like, there was a conspiracy against him. He did not actually commit treason, but he was tried for treason, and they tortured him, and he never confessed, and he died. And the way that he died is even worse, like, than you would imagine. It was dismemberment. He died from dismemberment, and I'm like, my god. that is what we're dealing with right now. So yeah, it's rough, man. I was like, dang, this is. Now imagining Artem. No, I don't want to imagine him dismembered. I don't want to imagine my favorite EXO getting dismembered either. So I'm a little scared, because we have one episode left to go. Episode 10 airs tomorrow night, and I'm gonna watch it. It was hot until dismemberment. Yeah. 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 He apparently was a very like progressive, liberal type of thinker. He liked to travel. He liked to learn about like the ideas from the West, like European. Like he would like go to China, and he would like get the readings, translations of texts from like Europe, and then he would read them, and it would help inform his thinking. He was very against like the Confucianism, right? He was very opposed to the Confucianism, like of Korean like society and stuff. And he wasn't like a perfect man, probably by any means. Like, I mean, from any person from 400 years ago or whatever is gonna be problematic, right, to today's standards. But it seemed like for his time he was quite forward thinking, and so it was like I was honestly, because I had read a lot by the time I got to the like kind of that point. So then I was very sad about the dismemberment for the real person, right? I'll look at Pretty Minsuck some more so that I feel a little less sad. yeah, it became very misunderstood because to them it was very like extremist thinking, right? Like very extremist ideas to be like, oh hey, maybe we should let, you know, maybe not commoners, but like let these like illegitimate sons into the government, right? Because they're very talented people among them, or you know, maybe we should like, you know, teach commoners how to read, or you know, stuff like that, right? But yeah, and he wrote a lot of poetry that expressed his ideas. Oh, that was another thing that I always find this interesting because I really love, you know, reading, and I always find writers very impressive. So one other interesting thing was a lot of people wrote poetry and stories to kind of um educate people on how to, like, you know, be moral citizens, and how to like you know, fairy tales and stuff, to try to like teach people how to live a good moral life. But he used poetry to express his own personal thoughts and feelings, which was at the time very uncommon, and also kind of revolutionary in that field of writing, which is really cool. I always appreciate people like that, right? Like that's why I really like Jane Austen, who created her own form of her own style of writing that just wasn't very commonly used before, right? Which is like indirect discourse, I think it's called. I forget what it's called right now. Yeah, I learned a lot, and it was very interesting. He was a very interesting person. And he was the, like, it's disputed who was the first author of who was the author of Honggyeldong, which is the first, I guess, like Korean novel in a way, like Korean fictionalized novel. Or it's not really. Well, actually, is it? It's kind of known for one of the first popularized, at least popularized, first Korean fictional novels, and it is basically a Robin Hood type of story, right? Honggyeldong was a character who was known for being very like almost like superhuman, right? And who would you know, steal from the rich to give to the poor. And that itself was a very radicalized type of idea, right? Especially to have as your main character, as your hero of a story, right? So it's very interesting. I thought it was very, very cool. I learned a lot about him, and I think he's pretty cool. So I'm very sad that that's how he died, was by dismemberment. And being framed for a crime that he did not commit. Oh, but something that I read, and so I need to look into this to see if it's true, because it came out of nowhere. Was he was so... Hi, Shiny! How are you doing? Yes, truly weary Wednesday. Are you feeling tired too? Hi, Ahmed. How are you? Oh my gosh, everyone's coming in. So another interesting thing that I read that was like, I don't know, like I need to look into this one because I only read it on one source and I don't think I saw it in other ones, so I'm gonna double check. But because I obviously look up multiple sources, and one source, I don't remember which one, said that he was so very like important that he even became like an in-law of the emperor. Like he was related to the emperor at some point via his marriage, so maybe that was to his first, like to his wife. And but during his time in the palace, he kept trying to assassinate the queen like multiple times. And again, I need to look up this again to see if they're like more, like if other sources have said this, because I feel like I only saw it one time. But it's funny if it's true, where he kept trying to assassinate the queen because he didn't like her. And I mean, I looked up who the queen was as well, and the queen was Queen Sundok, and she, I think, was very conservative. I don't think that their ideals would have gotten to, like, you know, would have meshed very well. But I'm like, dang. Um, you redeemed an iced coffee with points from McDonald's on the way to work, but the straw got caught on the office door and the entire thing flipped onto the floor. Oh no! I hate that. Yeah, when coffee spills, it kind of ruins your day. You're doing pretty good. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm just talking about a drama that I'm watching than the historical person that I looked up. Okay, so let's go back to the drama, because dude, this guy's life was like very, very, I don't know. Oh, I think we have his life was just, it seemed like his life was very, very what's the word? Oh, what's the word? Eventful. That's the word. There we go. Oh my god, my brain was like not thinking of it. Okay, yeah. His life seemed very eventful. But so, in the show, right? How the story begins is we meet up with him when he is in exile during one of his times being exiled. During one of his times being exiled, he is asked by a friend, and I think the friend is made up. I don't think the friend is a real person, but they are a character that's meant to stand in contrast to him, and so they are very, very like, what's the word? Conservative. They have very conservative ideals. They're trying to uphold the institutions, right? The ideals of Confucianism. So this is them. I don't like, this guy is awful. I hate him as the character. I don't know about the actor, but yeah, he's like evil. He's awful. So this guy, like, because they're old friends, he's like, hey, if you want to come out of exile, you know, you got to get the emperor to call for you again. So here's what you can do. And he tells him something that he wants him to do. And he's like, no, because that would be morally wrong. So I don't want to do that. And so the friend is like, all right, fine. So then the friend decides to do it in a different way by conspiring to get his Hogyun's like illegitimate son friend group implicated in a treason plot, right? And then once they do that, they can kill the illegitimate sons, but also kill the emperor's younger half brother, right? And that's basically what he wants to do, right? His friend is hot. His friend is okay looking. I actually don't like him right now because he's pretty evil, and I definitely like him even so that might be swaying my opinion on his looks, you know? So I won't say objectively if I think he's attractive or not, because I don't know anymore, right? Because I've just been watching this. I guess in this shot he looks pretty handsome. Like when I see him not as that character. Yeah, he's pretty handsome. When I see him not play that character. I hate him so much right now, Beck. You don't understand. I hate him so much. He's awful. I hope someone throws him off a cliff. This fictional version is safe now in the future. For now, right? So here's where I'm at, right? I'm gonna tell you guys because I'm sure none of you will watch this. I mean, if you watch it, I hope you don't mind, I guess, vague spoilers, but whatever. I'm not, like, honestly, I'm not gonna go through a bunch of the middle. But yeah. So yeah, I guess here he's handsome. Okay, anyway. So his friend tries to get him to do this thing that obviously morally ambiguous, actually morally just wrong. And he's like, I don't want to do that. So his friend implicates his illegitimate son friends, and he finds out about the plot because one of the giseng, one of the courtesans who like he's friends with, tells him about the plot, right? And so he runs because he's like, all right, I just need to run back to the capital and I need to tell the king what's up and that this is all like, you know, this is wrong, and then I gotta save my friends. But on the way he runs, right? His friend finds out because of the giseng. His friend finds out about that and sends a hired hand to murder him, right? Which they try to do, right? So they try to murder him. And in the moment they try to murder him, a shaman a shaman like does a spell and sends him into the future. So that's why he doesn't die and he ends up in the future. Wait, is this based off of a webtoon? You know what? I was reading it or watching the show and I was like, this feels like a webtoon plot. And sorry, I just want to check. Okay, this is art, but it does not seem to say it's based on a webtoon, so maybe it's not. I don't know, but it does, like, honestly, it really reads like a webtoon plot, though. I'm not gonna lie, it reads like a webtoon plot. I'll look it up later. I did not look up information on the drama. I just looked up information on Hyeogyun. But I don't know. I feel like I'm going into a deep dive. But anyway, so he gets sent into the future, 400 years. He is safe for now, right? He's safe for now, right? But some stuff happens, blah, blah, blah. And that's the main plot. And I'm going to skip over that in case anyone does want to watch this. But then I'm at the end, right? And I'm at the end now where, you know, he's finally found the shaman in this world, in this timeline. And he's like, I gotta go back. I gotta save my friend. And the shaman is like, all right, but you know, like the same amount of time that's been passing here has passed there. So you've got like 6 days before they're all executed because they tortured his friends until they eventually confessed, right? And then he wants to save the girl, but he also wants to save his friend. So he asks for a couple more days, but he's like basically ready now to go back. He's basically ready now to go back. And then he hasn't had a lot of time to use his cell phone, but he finally learned how to search on the internet, you know? And so he was searching on the internet, like because the one of the new friends he's made is an actress who and he's like saying goodbye to her, and she's like, well, if you ever want to learn about me, you know, because she doesn't know he's from the past, so she's like, if you want to know how I'm doing, you can just, you know, search my name. And so he decides to search his own name. Yes, Artem learned to Google. Yes, so he searched his own name and he found out what happened to him, and basically, you know, can kind of assume that's what's going to happen to him if he goes back, right? The dismemberment part. So yeah, that's where they left me at on the cliffhanger. And we have one more episode. It's gonna be tomorrow night. I'll let you guys know how it ends, I guess, like later. Because yeah, the drama is like almost over. But yeah, and it's pretty fun, to be honest. It's actually like a pretty, I don't think I would have chosen to watch this drama, but I am, like, once I started it and everything, I was like, oh, this is actually really good. Because I was intending just to check out how my EXO's acting is, you know, just like to see, you know, I'm curious, I like him. But I wasn't really planning to watch the whole thing. And I watched 8 episodes in one day. I watched 8 episodes in one day, and then the next day was Monday. I watched this on Sunday, and then Monday came, and on Monday, this show airs Monday and Thursdays. So I watched Monday, and now I'm waiting for Thursday's episode. He's good. You know, I've always been very proud of him for his acting, because I wouldn't say he's like a phenomenal actor, and I haven't seen him do a huge range of, like, he doesn't do like characters that like have a huge range exactly, but it seems that when they cast him, they know what type of character he is good for, and so he's always done very well, basically. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but what I mean is, yeah, he's basically well utilized in all of the projects that he's in. And so the type of character he plays, oh yeah, he's very good with facial expressions. Hi, Ether, how are you doing? We're talking about a K-drama that I'm watching right now, and an actor, and also a real historical figure. It's all connected, I swear. Yeah, brave guy if he dives back in time. Yeah, if he goes back. And I think he will, because it's very obvious that he's a very upright person, like in terms of morality, even if he's not like very conservative. Favorite EXOs in historical drama with a time travel plot. Yeah. Thank you, Beck. That was very concisely put. You're picturing him as Artem, yes. So I think he's done a historical drama, a historical movie before, right? So I'll tell you the type of character he usually gets casted as, right? Actually, that's another reason that I thought this was a strange casting choice. He's made it work. I think he's actually done pretty well. But I think that another actor probably would have played the part differently, right? So he's often casted as very young and naive characters, right? Because again, he's got that baby face, but also he acts like he's very good at performing that, right? So in one of the first, the first movie he did was very, very good. Schumann movie. Let me see if I can find. Oh, here. He was also. Oh my god. He looks like almost like. He looks almost exactly the same. And this was like years ago, right? He was also younger than. So he played a 15-year-old and he was like not 15. He was not 15. How old was he when he did this movie? I don't even know. He was like 30. He was like 30. Aging is a joke. Yeah. When you watch Linklater live action, you also binge too many episodes on a Sunday. Yeah, sometimes you just get really into it. He looks 24 at best, right? Okay, so the character he is right now, like the person, as I mentioned, he died at 48, right? I'm like, are you telling me he's supposed to be playing a 48-year-old man right now? Because he doesn't look like that. And he looks like, this is what he looked like in that movie, right? And in this movie, he was like 15. And he was a very young, naive, like, commoner's son who like, joins this kind of, like Robin Hood type characters, like troop, and he scammed people. So he was like part of a scam gang, but they were doing it mostly like, not too badly. They weren't like bad guys. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's probably how he will look when he's 48. Because he like this was what was the name? Sandal. Yeah, Kim Sandal. So this movie, Kim Sandal, was a movie from 2016. Okay, so this was a movie from 2016, okay? So this movie was from 2016, and that's how he looked then, okay? This is how he looks now. I showed you earlier. But it's like practically the same. He looks practically the same. Oh my god. Aging is only for us normal people. Like he's not human. Yeah, this is how he looks now. Right? I showed this picture earlier. Let me see if we can get this to show up. Yeah, so he just doesn't. Aging is not for him. He just doesn't age. Vampire, he really is. It's kind of ridiculous. And he was so like characters that he's played, right? Very naive type of characters. So like he played Orpheus in Hades Town. Orpheus is a very particularly innocent, naive type of character. He played, he was in like that military musical that I went to where he was also, again, a very naive type of young character. You have heard English Silas trying to act. Oh, how was it? Oh my god. You gotta go. Okay, bye, Ahmed. Live action Lu Guang is so fine. Oh, let's look that up. Live action Lu Guang. I'm curious. We don't have I don't have a something of attention. What's the word? See, I can't even think of words right now. It's Weary Wednesday indeed. So we're just gonna talk about whatever we want to talk about. Let me see. So this is Lu Guang? Yeah, he's pretty good looking. I wonder who the actor is. He's got a nice jaw. Is that him? Silas's voice, allegedly, yes. Oh, okay. I'll look that up. Oh, the black hair is how he looks most of the time. Okay. Cool. Yeah, no, he's good looking. But yeah, so he typically plays very like youngish looking, like, or like naive looking, like, or type of characters, and that's why I thought it was very interesting. And to be fair, like, I think that this character that he's playing now, Hyeogyun, is very idealistic and naive in his own way, right? He had a lot of faith in that friend of his who basically ordered a hit on him, right? He never really thought that that was like a thing. He only recently regained his memory of that, and now he's like, oh no, like, you know. But he didn't even think that, like, the whole time that he was here. So it's crazy. He is kind of playing the character like that. But there are like a lot of really funny moments, like him. The first meeting he has with the main girl is very funny because he has just arrived like in the middle of an alleyway, and the first person he runs into is her, and she is drunk because she was at a work dinner where she just got fired because she told off her boss for harassing one of the female employees. And he asks her where he is. He's like, where is this place? And she says, because she's drunk and bitter and upset, this is hell. And his eyes just go really big, and he's like, did I die? and she's like, we're all like in a living hell. Yeah, it's naive to think commoners can have rights, right? America's really dystopian right now, and shades of pessimism. No, it's totally okay, Beck. I think we're all in that mindset right now. Yeah, poor baby, right? It was very funny. It was a very funny scene, and I like meet cutes that are kind of like that, or that are just very hilarious. And then her mom is really nice, so her mom invites him into her like diner, he's like, oh my god, the food in hell is surprisingly good, right? Or something like that, right? There's just like a lot of like misunderstanding. And then later, he starts to think that this is, this imaginary heaven that he's written about in his stories about Hongyeodong. Because, you know, as he's exploring like Seoul, everything is so unfamiliar. And he's like, yeah, this land is so foreign, even though everybody speaks Korean, right? And there's just like a lot of like confusion there. And then eventually he realizes that he's actually traveled 400 years into the future, which is like, you know, a huge thing. And he's just so like, he's just so innocent and hilarious, right? There are two people in the future that look like his friends. So one is the bad guy, right? His bad friend who hired a hit on him. His like super like ambitious evil friend, who he has no idea is like, he has like a lot of faith in him, right? He has no idea how bad this guy is. And then the other friend is a courtesan, is a giseng, right? So giseng are a bit like geishas, I guess. They're like female entertainers. They weren't necessarily all sexual, you know, but some of them could be, right? But they're like geishas. They played musical instruments to entertain, you know, the nobles and stuff, right? Oh, that movie. There's a movie about giseng like that is, I think, well known in the West. I don't remember the name of the movie though. I think it's like a movie with like a lesbian revenge plot. Does anyone recognize that synopsis? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. I remember it became very popular for some reason. So yeah. So anyway, there is that, and she's in this timeline, or not timeline, in this future. If she is a reincarnation, which she might be, I honestly don't know. I don't understand, like, they didn't go into the details of that yet, right? But anyway, she's now like a famous celebrity, but like she's a celebrity who is having a rough time because she was a very popular child star, but then she couldn't really transition well out of that because she was very pretty when she was a child and cute, but she doesn't have any actual skills. so she can't act. And so she gets made fun of a lot whenever she tries to act, so she stopped trying to do that. But then that doesn't really mean that she can do anything other than modeling, right? So, historical Gilgamesh's best friend was Enkidu was a priest, which doubled as a sex worker at the time. Wait, I didn't know about that. I mean, we read about in my English classes, when I teach like the higher level English classes, we sometimes read Gilgamesh, like we read a little bit of Gilgamesh, and we read about Enkidu, and obviously it's going to be a very sanitized version because we're reading it with like, you know, 5th graders. So I never was curious enough to look into it, but that's interesting. I didn't know Enkidu was a priest or that priests doubled as sex workers. I was like, every Disney child. No, that's not true. A lot of Disney child stars are very talented, Kathy. Like Ariana Grande can sing. Jenny McCartney's a pretty good actress, I think. Britney Spears, very, very like talented. And there are obviously more, right? The Hannah Montana girl, Miley Cyrus, is that her name? She's pretty good. They're very talented. But yeah, like she's just kind of like, but she's very funny. Like she's got a really funny personality, because she kind of lives in her own little world. Like, so basically, despite how difficult things are, and she has like a hard time, she does experience like, you know, difficulties with body image and stuff, but generally she remains pretty positive, which is very interesting. So I don't know if I would say she's written very realistically, but she is fun. Like she's really fun to like to kind of watch, right? So like every time, like, so like when he sees her, he's like Mechang, which is her name when in his past when she was a Giseng, but he'll chase after her, right? Because he wants to like talk to her. But whenever he did that, she would run because obviously that's weird. But in her mind, she thought he was just like a stalker fan, and she would just be like, "See, like he thinks, like see, I'm still famous." She just has no idea. Like she just lives in her own world. But yeah, she's very, and now she's actually a really good friend of his, which is very sweet. She's very cute. I like her a lot. Which I was glad, because at first I thought she was gonna be like a bad character person, and I was like, God, this drama has too many evil characters, right? Because the main guy, like main bad guy, he is awful. He is the worst. I hate him so much. I hate him. I'm not gonna recover for a while. Enkidu became a priest. Okay. Oh, I'm really curious about this Enkidu lore. Maybe we'll even start looking it up. Okay, Enkidu became a priest because Gilgamesh's mom wanted them to be equals. Yes. I remember that. And the only way to turn the random wolf child they found into the king's equal is to adopt him and make him a priest. And to make him also his sex toy? What? But yeah, I mean, when I did read Gilgamesh, like with, you know, the kids and stuff, obviously it's very easy to ship. So, like, to me, I never said that out loud to them. Obviously, I'm not a weirdo, right? But like, but I still like never like got interested enough to look into reading more than whatever I read with, you know, my class. So this is all very fascinating. It might make me more interested in reading more into it now. But yeah. Man, there was like at the beginning, I had hoped that there could be like some BL between like him and the bad guy, the bad friend, right? But then that quickly went away. And then there was a very like random, like funny, like little BL, like a nod moment. Like it was more of a joke. They played it off as a bit of a joke, but with him and another guy, the assassin, the guy who tried to kill him, right? Yeah, because I think at the beginning I probably did think he was attractive. And then I just hated him. Like I think by like episode 3, I was like, I really hate this guy. I'm pretty sure by episode 3 I was over him. Oh, here's the wait, let me see if I can find a good picture of her. I don't like that picture because she's very cute. Okay, I was like, I want to avoid spoilers, but I'm fine because the last episode isn't out till tomorrow, so I can't be spoiled. I literally can't be spoiled. Okay. Oh yeah, so like yeah, you know, there was some potential, right? For like for BL, right? And then I hated him. But yeah, with these pictures, there was some potential, right? He does hug him a lot at the beginning because when he comes to this world and he sees him for the first time, he's like, "Ah!" You know. So he does try to hug him a lot. It's too bad he's a bitch. I hate him. I really hate him. Okay. This is the girl, the Giseng girl. She's very pretty. So the child actress. Here's what she looks like in modern day wear. She's very pretty. Okay. It's one of the main goddesses also blessed sexual unions. Oh, it was a weird thing where sex was tied to religion and stuff, and they were open about it. I like that, you know, and it's very interesting that you'll find like a lot of like older cultures or like smaller cultures like were kind of a bit more like not liberal exactly, but they did have these connections that we would nowadays find very taboo, right? But they would get like wiped out because of Christianity, right? Like we were talking in Lucky's chat about the Greeks, right? And about how the Spartans would kind of encourage homosexuality because, or at least like encourage that type of relationship with other soldiers because if you know, you were fighting for somebody who was fighting with you, you would, you know, it would strengthen your will, I guess, to survive, right? So you could win all your wars or whatever. You may be paraphrasing. You learn all from a YouTube video about My Day's inspirations. Oh, the fact that you hate him is a sign of good writing. I don't know if it's a sign of good writing because I do find sometimes he's a bit so villainous. I think it's a sign of good acting. That I think there's a slight difference, right? Because I think it's a sign of good acting that I hate him so much. I do find the writing at times makes him almost so villainous that there is nothing redeemable about him. And I don't mean redeemable like I want him to be redeemed, but I mean like he doesn't feel like a fully three-dimensional character. There's not a lot of nuance to him. He's just very self-serving, right? He's very self-serving and he's very like, you know, cutthroat and manipulative, very manipulative. So it's not really that he's like, I don't think it's a sign of good writing necessarily, but I do think it is a good performance. Yeah, the Gilgamesh stuff is up front and conveniently. Oh great, okay, you know what, let's take a watch. I'm not in a huge rush to like do Themis since it looks like the event stuff is actually just a very little bit. And Themis will not take like an hour anyway. We've got plenty of time. Let me turn off the desktop audio. Okay. So Gilgamesh stuff is at the beginning? Okay. All right. Oops, sorry. That's weird. Why isn't it playing? Eh? Hello. Okay. My mic is working fine. Okay, let's try a different channel then. Okay. I don't know why it's not playing, so here's what I'll do. Oh, it's a Lalodi lore video. Cool. Okay, then here's what I'll do instead. I'll mute this. I don't want to turn it off yet. And we'll use the desktop audio. Because I do want to play Themis, like, or at least like get through my dailies. Let me see. That's so weird that it's not connecting. So well, yeah, we'll just have to use desktop audio.
Perhaps the Babylonians. They were the first known civilization to build cities.
Yeah, I like
and
Lalodi.
pioneered
Lalodi did the video about not, oh god, not Clocky, but who Clocky is based. You know what I'm talking about? The very gay life of what's his face. And then they also did they do the Sunday video too?
countless innovations: writing, astronomy, the 12 zodiacs, Pythagorean theorem, geometry.
It's not gay to kiss the homie
gem
goodnight.
seals, wheeled wagons, the 60 base system we still use for time and circles, 7-day weeks with a day of rest,
Yeah.
Maya and music theory, the global flood myth, and sacred numbers like 7 and 3.
Oh, okay,
People
okay.
wrote
That was
the
someone else.
first
Okay.
political comedy, the first epic, the first legal code, and developed the phalanx formation, defense of city walls, and so much more. Considering they lived up to 6,000 years ago, when most of the world, except for Egypt, was still in small tribes and villages, their impact on Western civilization is staggering, and yet barely anyone knows their name. Unless you're familiar with the Fate series. That might seem random, but you may have heard that
Please.
Honkai Star Rail has an upcoming collaboration with the Fate series, teased a little while ago. Hoyoverse has made subtle nods to Fate before, and Mighty is their latest one.
That's what I do enjoy about Hoyoverse in general, is because Hoyoverse is full of anime nerds and geeks. They will reference things like, not just because it's like in gaming, but because it's like specifically nerdy otaku things.
If you're unfamiliar with Fate, its whole theme is turning real or mythological
Yeah, it's hard for
historical
Fate, yeah.
figures into anime characters and throwing them into more or less time travel shenanigans. Honestly, I'm not that deep into it myself. My only exposure was watching Fate's Day Night as a teenager, where I vaguely remember Artoria, aka...
Okay, the only reason I know any amount of information that I know about Fate, which is probably all mixed up, is because Giguk did a video trying to explain Fate, right? And it was a long ass video, and there were many lines and charts and stuff.
Saber, the
But
female
it
King
is so
Alpha, who was
well
everyone's
known.
favorite wallpaper. Oh, and of course the people die when they are killed meme, which I still quote to this day.
People die if they are
Anyway,
killed.
Hoya are both history nerds.
They will dig
and
deep into the
otaku,
world
so
history lore just to do a
naturally
nice
they
Fate
love
homage,
Fate.
right?
And this matters because Mighty's visual design is heavily inspired by Fate's depiction of Gilgamesh, the legendary...
Yes, when My Day, it's throwing me off that she's saying mighty, but when I know it's because I don't play in English, but when My Day was released, right? Or like not released, when he was revealed, right, in the first teasers and stuff, I saw so many people saying Gilgamesh.
Sumerian god king from the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest...
Listen to 3-hour
epic
video
in
about
human
FGO gacha
history.
game.
But before diving into Gilgamesh
You read a
himself,
fic about
we
Shiro
need
once?
some context on Sumerian culture and mythology, especially since it laid the foundation for later religions like Hellenism and Abrahamism. The ancient Sumerian religion was polytheistic, and their gods existed predominantly to embody and explain natural phenomena.
Their
such
gacha
as
rates
the
are gross.
sun,
Yeah.
the moon, the 5 visible planets, the constellations.
Yeah, whatever people say about Genshin, I know that there like are definitely criticisms, and I think everyone's are valid. I really don't care like if people don't like Genshin. But I will like say that I do think that it was because of Genshin that a lot of newer gacha games nowadays have pity systems, have nicer like gotcha like mechanics and stuff like that. Because I feel like Genshin kind of set a standard that now a lot of people abide by, right?
Constellations, the sea,
You learn about history.
seasons,
Yeah, I
death,
enjoy
disease,
sometimes.
etc., etc.
Sometimes I'll watch like sorry, I keep stopping it. Sometimes I'll watch lore videos like this for things that I don't even care that much about just because like I know I'll end up learning a lot about what other people have looked into about history and mythology.
Etc. You might already recognize one of their deities if you know Kevin from Honkai Impact 3rd. His divine key weapon, Judgment of Shamash, is named after the Sumerian sun god, whom Gilgamesh also prays to as his patron deity. This weapon's immense fiery power has a high chance of destroying its user. Keep that.
Okay, destroying its user. Okay, sorry. That reminds me. I was reminded earlier today, I was reminded that in one of the trailers that we got for Star Rail Amphorius, Finon's shirt is off. When are we gonna get that scene? Okay, I'm okay now. I'm fine.
Keep that in mind, as we'll later discuss Nanook and self-sacrifice. The Sumerians believed they were created by the gods, the Anunnaki, as slaves to provide food, shelter, and offerings. According to their myth, the gods once lived on Earth but hated taking care of themselves, so they mixed clay with the blood of a sacrificed god to create humans.
Yeah, take your shirt off.
That divine blood was what made humans superior to animals. However, this dynamic also made their gods antagonistic. If angered, they would bring disaster. An example of this is in their flood myth. The god Enlil, the head of the pantheon that controlled the wind and storms, was upset with the growing population of humans causing too much noise, so he planned a flood to destroy all of them. But Enki, the god of water and knowledge who created humans from clay with his wife, saw the flaw in this plan. After all, the gods needed slaves, so secretly he went to the king, Utnapishtim, instructing him to build a boat big enough to fit his family, one of each kind of craftsman, and a pair of each animal, so they could survive the flood. During the flood, the king used 3 kinds of birds, including the dove and the raven, to scout for land 3 times. Sound familiar? This story predates both Noah's Ark and Deucalion's flood by at least a millennium, yet it shares core elements with both: the wrathful storm god, the chosen survivor, and divine intervention from the deity who created mankind from clay. As we go through this video, you'll see how much of modern religion is essentially a 6,000-year-old game of telephone, with each branch evolving in wildly different directions.
I'm not surprised by that.
Echoes of the same origins. Perhaps the most important deity to our story is Ishtar, the goddess of lust and war, and the patron goddess of Uruk, represented by
So cool how
Venus,
myths are
the
tied together.
eight-point star, the dove, the rosette, and the
Yeah, that's like it's very interesting to me because I feel like the Bible and God and Jesus is basically mythology. And like one day, like, you know, millennia into the future, right? People are gonna look back on this very long period of Western like Christianity and stuff and, you know, laugh at these myths, right? The way that we look at the Greek myths, right? Yeah, it is. It's a creation myth. Yeah, and it's, I think that's just very interesting.
Mighty lion. She was one of the most worshipped Sumerian gods, often called the Queen of Heaven. If you know anything about Aphrodite, you might already be suspicious, but we'll get to that later. I could probably talk about Ishtar all day, but I'll try my best to keep this swift. Generally speaking, Ishtar is supposed to be in a sacred marriage with the legendary shepherd king Dumuzi, who is worshipped as a god in
Ishtar's
his own right.
Yeah,
and
Yu-Gi-Oh!
people love
Obviously
this marriage.
takes a lot
Seriously,
of
I've read ancient smutty
its
fanfics
own
of
little
them
lore and
involving
stuff
plot
and
puns
its
about
concept
drinking his milk.
from this
Truly,
culture, right?
humans have always been the same. Now, all Sumerian kings were considered shepherds of the people, which is also why you see them depicted with shepherd head wraps in art. As the spouse of the king, Ishtar is closely associated with politics and war. This is also why, if you read the Epic of Gilgamesh, there's a scene where Ishtar tries to marry Gilgamesh. To honor this divine
I
union,
miss sacred
Sumerian
milk.
kings would periodically engage in a ritualistic marriage with a priestess, emulating Ishtar and Dumuzi. As she was predominantly a goddess of lust, Sumerian culture had a very open reverence for sex, not only as something that should be done frequently, but also something that is capable of great power, like in the case of Gilgamesh's soulmate Enkidu.
Okay, so what you're telling me is the more sex my day has, the more powerful he becomes. That's all I'm getting out of this, right? That would explain why he
was a man made fresh from clay to be Gilgamesh's equal and capable of stopping his tyrannical behavior. Seriously, Gilgamesh thought it was his right to claim every bride's first time in the marital bed for himself before her husband.
Wow.
But Enkidu was totally wild, living
Yes,
among the
exactly.
animals, and so the locals used a prostitute to seduce him, separate him from the animals, and then lead him into civilization as if she were a goddess. Naturally, there is a lot of overlap between priests and prostitutes within Sumerian culture, so don't make the mistake of applying modern concepts and attitudes to their role. In the story of Inanna and Utu, the Sumerian names for these gods, I've been using their Akkadian versions. Ishtar, who knows nothing of sex, begs her twin brother Shamash to take her to the underworld so she can taste the fruits there and learn its secrets. Once there, she gains knowledge and embraces her role as the goddess of lust.
Okay, I was about to say, ask her brother what? Okay, I see.
Similarly, in Inanna and the Hulupu tree, Ishtar wants to create a throne for herself, so she plants a special tree she found along the river into her garden in Uruk to grow the wood she needs. Unfortunately, the tree becomes inhabited by a serpent, a Lilith demon, and a lion-eagle creature called the Anzu. She recruits Gilgamesh to rid the tree of these creatures, and in his success, she gains her throne and her bed. This brings us to an important historical point. The biblical Exodus story of escaping Egypt as freed slaves is now considered to be a founding myth. Archaeology suggests the Israelites were a branch of the Canaanite people. This matters because the Canaanites, or Phoenicians, were part of the Akkadian Empire and heavily influenced by Akkadian culture. Don't forget, the Akkadians were successors to the Sumerians, and the names Ishtar and Gilgamesh
Brother promptly
are
offered
the
himself but
Akkadian
missed
versions
and
of
offered
Inanna and
her.
Gilgamesh. This connection.
Oh wait, he offed her. Oh
because
no.
The Phoenicians were a major cultural influence on Greece, especially during their peak as a trading superpower from about 1200 to 800 BC, following the late Bronze Age collapse. This was the same period when the Iliad and the Odyssey were written, texts in the ancient Greek alphabet, which is actually a copy of the Phoenician script itself derived from Egyptian hieroglyphs. Homer is said to have lived in Ionia and spent time in the East and in Egypt, and though we don't know if this is actually true, mostly because we don't even know if Homer was a real person, we can see traces of the Epic of Gilgamesh inside the story of the Iliad, especially in the poetic motifs present in the death of Patroclus.
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew Achilles would come up. Okay. I don't know much about Gilgamesh. But I have always said that my day is very heavily also inspired by Achilles. And I guess that makes sense too. Right? Because yes. Okay. It's all connected.
And the death of Enkidu, where both heroes rip out their hair and stalk around described as a lioness without her cubs, only to immediately realize their own mortality and begin
this one isn't
Crest.
Death. This is just gay.
This is a critical
gay
for Gilgamesh because it sets him off on a quest for immortality, leading to his discovery of the
his Achilles heel became an Achilles vertebrae.
Yes. Of death as he lays himself down in his tomb. I've mentioned Enkidu a few times, but the dynamic that Mighty shares with Phaenon is clearly derived from Gilgamesh and Enkidu, just as Achilles and Patroclus were. Enkidu filled almost every positive role in Gilgamesh's life and kept him in check as his only equal. I cannot emphasize enough that Gilgamesh was a figure that even the gods themselves didn't want to tussle with directly, so they had to make Enkidu to deal with him.
Yes.
Before his creation, Gilgamesh had prophetic dreams about Enkidu as a shooting star and an axe, both of which are considered puns to refer to male sacred prostitutes. As Gilgamesh recounts the dream to his mother, the goddess Ninsun, he explains how all the city was crowded around it and says, like a babe in arms, they were kissing its feet. Like a wife, I loved it, caressed, and embraced it. I lifted it up and set it down at your feet, and you, O mother, you made it my equal. His wise mother explains, the stars of heaven appeared before you. Like a rock from the sky, one fell down before you. You lifted it up, but it weighed too much for you. You tried to roll it, but you could not dislodge it. You lifted it up, set it down at my feet, and I, Ninsun, I made it your equal. Like a wife, you loved it, caressed, and embraced it. A mighty comrade will come to you and be his friend's savior. Mightiest in the land, strength he possesses. His strength is as mighty as a rock from the sky. Like a wife, you'll love him, caress, and embrace him. He will be mighty and often will save you.
That's super gay. I love it.
Finally meet, Enkidu confronts Gilgamesh about his tyrannical ways outside the marital
Shooting star is a
chamber,
pun
and they
for a male
battle for a week
prostitute.
straight.
Kate taking notes.
There was no winner, but when the fight
It's very
stopped,
romantic,
the
yeah.
text reads, they kissed each other and formed a friendship. For Gilgamesh, a mighty king without
Friendship.
equal, the title of friend is the highest honor. Gilgamesh takes Enkidu to see his mother, and she notes that he has no kin or family and was born in the wild, her words bringing Enkidu to tears. There's missing text, but for some reason this results on a mission into the forest. Long story. And while they're away, his mother appeals to Shamash. When they return, she fulfills her promise to make Enkidu Gilgamesh's equal socially. She summons him and officially adopts him, saying, O mighty Enkidu, you are not sprung from my womb, but henceforth your brood will...
Oh my god. And it became Crest. It's everything, you guys. It has everything that we love on this channel.
Along with the votaries of Gilgamesh, the priestesses, the hero jewels, and the women of the temple. She put the symbols around Enkidu's neck. The priestesses took in the foundling, and the divine daughters brought up the foster child. Enkidu, whom I love, I take for my son. Enkidu, in brotherhood, Gilgamesh shall favor him.
It was Crest all
For
along.
Sumerian gods, referring to each other as brother and sister was an expression that is not literal, but indicates an equal social status. And this was the intent, as Enkidu was adopted as Gilgamesh's brother. As equals, they are socially allowed to be best friends.
You don't need to
lovers,
explain
and
away the
partners
Crest. It's
in
okay.
everything. And remember the overlap of priestesses and prostitutes? This is the role Enkidu now fills as part of the women of the temple. Keep in mind, male priests of this nature would also be referred to with female pronouns. I should also mention that Enkidu as a wild man was mentioned to be living among the antelopes, specifically gazelles, and during the bath sprite fade to black with suspicious groaning sounds that definitely doesn't exist.
Oh my god. Okay. As I was, this was in my playthrough. I remember that during my playthrough of this, I was like, this story, I think, has to do with Phynon and My Day. And, like, I'm pretty sure it's gay. And so I gotta pay attention to it. And I was right.
Only to allude to certain activities that would not pass censorship. The bath sprite compares a mighty and Phaenon to a lion and an oryx, also a species of antelope native to the dry
Can't believe
grasslands and
Bastion Lion
deserts
and
of the
Gazelle thing
Arabian
has a
Peninsula
tie-in.
and
Yes.
Africa.
Long before the dawn of Erechrysia, the two beasts started their timeless battle on the plains of Tritos. The lion regarded the oryx as its food, while the oryx
my god, the English
perceived
is
the lion as a
obnoxious.
scornful, oppressive, and challenging barrier that it swore to topple with its antlers. For tens of thousands of years, without respite, the two creatures thus continued their relentless pursuit and rivalry.
English VA is Chibi. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. This whole thing is a Gilgamesh and Enkidu marital chamber fight reference. That's why it's so sus, just like the epic. Nice. If you pay close attention to the wording, Enkidu was sent to be Gilgamesh's rival and substitute, given he was created to stop Gilgamesh from betting every maiden in Uruk and the number of prostitution references. This answer to what is a substitute for is pretty obvious. Just in this case, love him like a lifeline wasn't enough. It was pretty obvious. I see. So basically, everybody was sick of Gilgamesh screwing their brides to be and was like, we need to give him a distraction. And they made Enkidu. Wow.
It fixated on its rival's fleeing form in the chase. It set its sights on the other's neck, nearly within reach. It was stuck in a corner.
That part is just funny. They found him the hottest, strongest man in the woods and told him to go to Bone Town. Pretty much.
As for the Greco-Roman interpretation of Gilgamesh, there is actually one direct mention of him by a Roman author in De Natura Animalium, a document listing information about assorted animals. For the story of the eagle, the author talks about how the king of Babylon prophesied that his grandson would take the kingdom from him, and in the king's fear of the grandson, he put strict watch on his daughter. Regardless, she became pregnant, and so the gods took the baby and hurled it from the top of the citadel. That prophesied baby was rescued by an eagle, and he grew up to eventually become King Gilgamesh of Babylon, taking the kingdom from his grandfather. While not a direct one-to-one of Mighty, the similarities are likely not a coincidence. One more thing while
They made his waist so tiny.
How Kevin, and in fact the entire Kazlana family line, are associated with Shamash the sun god in Honkai Impact 3rd. When it comes to Phaenon, his name actually refers to the planet Saturn, and so does the Persian name Kevon. So that's the thing. In Sumerian astrology, because the sun itself is not present in the night sky, when making divinations, they actually used Saturn as a stand-in for the sun.
So it is related to
Hence,
Kevin,
they refer to Saturn
ultimately.
as the dark sun. You may not know this, but Sumerian astronomy and astrology was the direct reference for the Greek astronomers, since Babylon contained so much recorded data about the stars from thousands of years. After Alexander's conquest of the Mesopotamia region, the Greeks took control of this data.
Hi, Swordman Rin, welcome in. We're learning lore about My Day from Star Rail.
Phaenon is sometimes used as a synonym for Phaethon, the name of the son of Eos, the dawn goddess, and the mortal Cephalus. This Phaethon is a mortal lover kidnapped by Aphrodite and taken to Syria, where she bears his children as an alternate version of the Adonis story, but I'll talk more of Adonis later. Phaethon is also the same name as the son of Helios, the sun god, known for taking control of the sun chariot, but losing control and setting the earth ablaze, creating the desert.
Wow, so many.
Wake. I don't think I need to explain why these details are relevant to Phaenon, because obviously, but
yeah.
I especially love the poeticness of Phaenon as Saturn, representing the dark sun within the prophecies divined in the Evernight of Orynyx. Chapter
Precursor
2,
of Oedipus'
Hunt
story.
And Destruction. Alright, time to pivot away from specifically Mighty and Gilgamesh and into Nikaido and Aquila, the paths of hunt and destruction.
Okay, so I'll stop it here, because we got the main thing that we were watching for. That was fun. Thank you for sharing that. That was really interesting. I'm probably gonna watch the rest of it later, because it does sound like, you know, stuff I'm interested in. I really enjoyed their like previous video, some of them, because I'm pretty sure I've watched more than the one. But yeah, yes, I figured that they were now moving into something different. Yeah, it looks like a very fun video overall, so I'm gonna watch more later. Gilgamesh and Enkidu is fascinating. Yeah, very iconic. Because I was like already thinking like very Achilles coded, very Alexander the Great coded. I'm glad that he may brought that one up. But I didn't realize that Achilles and Patroclus had so many connections to Gilgamesh and Enkidu as well, which makes a lot of sense, right? So obviously, yeah. And I learned a lot more about like Sumerian ancient culture. That was really cool. But yeah, the I like how Star Rail hides like some of its like queer coding and stuff in its writing, right? Like with that scene about the marital bed like battle, right? And just, you know, alluding to this like thing that you would literally have to like understand Sumerian mythology to know, and you might look it up or you might not, right? So it can get by the censors because it's like it would have to be something people would be interested enough to like look into, right? And thank God that the shippers will. Didn't realize the Achilles Patroclus thing. Yeah, I always think that's really cool. The yeah, and I want to do research into Finon. I just don't have the time or energy right now to like, you know, look at everything I want to. I finished 2 books yesterday. Like surprisingly. So I wasn't like super like far from finishing them. I was like about 100 pages to go in each. So I did finish like all those pages. So I finished Psychologicals Part 2, which is in the Nonsense User series, the Zaregoto series, which is a Nishio Ishin book. And those books are... Nishio Ishin is such an interesting author because he is so creative and you never really fully know where he's going with something. And you also like... I don't think he knows exactly where he's going at times, but somehow things always like materialize and then still come together and make sense. Like even multiple novels into a series, in just very unexpected ways, right? And so I feel like in his mind, maybe he knows everything, but he himself is not aware of everything he knows. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of author, which is fascinating. So that was like a really interesting read where I was like, okay, I really appreciated it by the end, but it was that's why I think it took me so long to finish the second half of Psychological, was because it's deliberately also messing with the mystery detective genre. And because it was deliberately a bit of meta calling it out, that genre, it was a little bit hard to follow because it wasn't following the predictable patterns. By the end I got it, right? But it was like, yeah, it was rough for a little bit, just because I was like I wasn't in the flow of how I thought I should be. And then the other book I finished was a bit of lighter reading. I guess lighter. The ending was really sad. Very bittersweet ending. And I think I might look into other books in that series where like you can read this one, like you can read a book by itself because it's full of shorts, like short stories that all are connected to a theme. And there is like a main setting, but yeah. But I finally finished two books that I had been reading. So if I can finish another book in April, I actually won't be behind on my reading goal, which is just 1 book a month. The literal cut to black and the Bat Sprite nature documentary censorship dodge. Yeah, exactly. Productive. You should check out Young Silas allegedly. Oh, okay. Let me see. What was that called again? I guess we can watch that, right? Because it's a cutscene. Oh, you linked it. Okay, great. Good at read. Well, yeah. If I'm really into the like mood, I can read pretty fast, and I read like a lot. Like when I was young, I could read like 100 books in a month. But obviously I don't have the energy or time now that I'm much older. I think a lot of people are like that. I don't think it's just me. But it was only 200 pages. 200 pages isn't really that much. Especially because I managed to get really into it, and I had the only reason I was able to was because I had testing yesterday. So I was able to do like some of the reading just during testing and the rest of it while walking.
Quite familiar with the real Mockingbird. That's why, when I heard the name, I already knew something was amiss.
Mockingbird. Sorry, I'm just thinking of
Familiar? How do you become familiar? How familiar?
of Artem.
Go on, spill the tea, sis.
I was once deeply involved.
Is there something up with the dubbing or something? That felt way fast on her end.
Wait, so you mean that you were...
Also, the
Yes,
sis
it
was
is
funny.
Exactly what you think. Now you know me in my entirety. I sincerely hope that this doesn't frighten you. If I may, allow me to share another secret. In reality, I have had contact
She's
with
excited for the
this
gay.
edgy concept before. Or this popular subculture, I suppose. I have even memorized and recited such sentences. Of course, under the influence of a certain old acquaintance.
His tone is very monotonous.
Really? I want to hear?
Well,
Not monotonous,
that
flat,
is your
sorry.
wish.
Very flat.
Allow me to say now that if you wish to laugh, please do. There's no need to hold it back on my account. It would not be good for your health. Well,
Actually, no, maybe monotonous was right.
let me begin.
His tone,
Supreme...
sorry, his tone really doesn't go up or down. I know I should be focusing on the story part, but I can't, like, help it, right? Like, it's the way he's ending his sentences, I think.
On my account. It would not be good for your... To laugh, please do.
To laugh, like that. That sounds awkward, right? If you wish to laugh, please do. Like that. He sounded very awkward.
There's no need to hold it back on my account.
He gets more into it? Okay.
Good for your health. Well then, let me begin. I offer this supreme honor to you. In this land of sin and virtue, solemnly do I swear. Humility, courage, integrity, compassion, fairness, self-sacrifice, devotion, honor. I shall never compromise in my fight against evil. I shall never back down in my goal to uplift the downtrodden. I shall never betray my loyalty to my companions.
It's loyalty to justice. Oh, Lycon, I can't believe you're having trouble memorizing such simple lines. Could it be that there's something wrong with you here?
Oh my god.
Shut it!
Very cute.
Speaking of, why am I the only one who has to recite these cheesy as all hell lines?
Because my performance is impeccable and so I need no extra training. You, on the other hand, have slipped up thrice already.
So what? We still got the job done.
Using violence every time is so very boring. In any case, I want far more than just this. Imagine it, Lycon.
Yeah, the voice is like...
One day, we will be like those who stand at the top, under...
The voice is very interesting. I feel like they are stretching their vocal cords a little bit. Not stretching, thinning their vocal cords a little bit in order to get this particular tone compared to the lower tone that we heard in the trailer.
The spotlight of praise and defamation, admiration and loathing.
Yeah. Yeah, acting
betrayal.
young, yeah.
So, doesn't that sound super entertaining?
He's straining to go up high, yeah. But it's still pretty consistent, which is important, right? That's good. But yeah, you can feel the strain.
It looks like I'm a step too late. It matters not. It's about time for a reunion, dear traitor.
Cool. Okay. Oh, whoops. So I'm glad we can appreciate like voice actors. I would so much rather prefer just actual human voice actors, right? Because that was fine, right? Compared to, oh my god. So I'm gonna show you guys. Some of you might have already seen. Maybe Alaris hasn't actually, right? Because Alaris isn't like super active in our Discord, which is fine, by the way. I'm not guilting or anything. But I wanted to show you this. So there's a Supercube anime, and it is a Chinese anime, I think, because all the characters' names are Chinese. And they have decided to use AI dubbing, which obviously we are not supporters here, right? And when we listen to this, yeah, we see exactly why. I mean, I wouldn't support it even if it was good, but AI is clearly not there yet. Because, yeah, their AI and only accented dubs. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know actually. They do have like it's very interesting because when they say their names, all of the names I think have the right intonations, or at least have an intonation that isn't like flat English. But yeah, like the reason that you actually also just really need like real people. Yeah, the intonations are correct. Okay, yeah. So like the another thing like that's interesting to note about this is that and why you need people, right? Is because it's not just voice actors. One thing that's very important is voice directors, right? Directors who can help the actors get really the best performance out of things, which you can't train on an AI necessarily, right? Even if like as you're fine tuning, right? They seem to not even have a voice director doing that on the AI. And the other thing is, you also need timers, people who can do the editing, of like cutting the voices and putting them in the right places so that the lip flaps match, because that's a job. That's another job that is a part of, dubbing. That's really important. And so the lip flaps just don't match.
Who would believe that?
Like that. Like, it's just so awkward. It's so awkward to watch the way that the mouth just keeps going for that long after he says, the lines. And like, I feel like this is something we like might take for granted because we all know that the lip flaps don't look exactly the same because in like a lot of animation, they deliberately move the lips kind of vaguely so that you can have multiple dubs, but at least the timing of when mouths are open and closed and sounds are coming in and out should match, right? And we don't usually notice that because it's usually done very like well, right? And so when it's not done well like this, oh, it stands out so bad. It looks so bad.
Yao actually confessed to me.
It's so bad. Okay, so yeah. Oh. This is how really early dubs were, though. That's yeah. But that's the thing is like dubbing has developed, right? So at least the lip flaps match like better. But even I feel like even original like early dubs like were not that egregious with like, well, one, lip flaps not matching, but two, like inhuman intonation, right? Well, the Ghost Stories dub, I would say is not a great comparison because I would say the Ghost Stories dub is brilliant, right? The Ghost Stories dub is honestly brilliant. I don't think that it's like, I don't think it's a bad dub. I think it's a very inaccurate dub, but it's an inaccurate dub that worked in its own, because it was its own thing, right? Like I would say that that's not a great comparison, but I would say like even if we compare to older bad dubs, right? At least they sound human, right? So let me see. We've gone like so off topic. That's fine. Ghost Stories dub is fantastic. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's really good. It's full of like it's definitely full of, feeling and energy and enthusiasm for whatever they were making, right? And so I would say it's very, very different from like it's an inaccurate dub, but it is not bad. Yeah, they made no attempts to be accurate. Yeah, exactly. They just made a crack show. It was just like crack content, right? Fixed up. So I think he has like a video where he fixes some of the worst voice acting in anime. So this is where we can get some clips, right, of like bad dubbing. But even I feel like these were like I don't remember. To be fair, it's been a while since I've watched these. But I feel like his dubbing, like, or these videos, sorry, or like these examples he chose were not that bad, like compared to what we just watched, right? That was so awful. Yep. Okay. Let's see if I can find like just little clips of the original bad dubs, and then he obviously tries to fix some of them, right? Oh, here. Original improved. Okay. Oh my god. There's a Sailor Moon one. Let's watch the Sailor Moon one.
Sailor Moon clip now, where they talk really fast.
It's Tuxedo Mask!
Shame on you, mistrust. Your lies and deceits have finally caught up with you, calling an innocent girl a cheater and turning friends against each other. Your evil games are coming to an end. Right now. So come on, hit me with the very best shot you've got.
Fine, meet my teammates!
At least I could understand that, you know? Because one thing I also noticed when I watched that other one the first time was I tuned out. I had no idea what they were talking about because it was so inhuman. My brain registered it as background noise, I think. I mean, I'm assuming that's what happened in my brain. None of us knows what our brain is actually doing, right? But like literally, I had no idea what was being said because it was so awful, right? But at least this one, I could understand, you know? My brain stayed focused on listening, right?
It's not bad. It's just uncomfortable, I'd say. Like, he talks way too fast, but with the challenge that I've set, we're not allowed to change the script, we're not allowed to change the music or sound effects, really. It's going to be hard to improve this, but let's see what I did.
It's Tuxedo Mask!
Shame on you, mistrust. Your lies and deceits have finally caught up with you, calling an innocent girl a cheater and turning friends against each other. Your evil games are coming to an end. Right now. So come on, hit me with the very best shot you've got.
Fine, meet my teammates!
Kicked, not licked.
I don't really know.
Okay, let's look at this one. Since he said, since he also said that wasn't really bad, just very fast. Let's look at this one, which might actually be maybe like considered bad.
Iris! 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 Ah! No, this isn't happening! There's no reason for me to go on. What? What am I fighting for?
God bless that.
Okay, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. I still think it's better, though. I still think it's better than what we just watched, right? Which is crazy. That's pretty bad. But it's still better, which is... Oh, God. AI dubbing is just such shit.
It's charming for all the wrong reasons. So here's our improved version, I hope.
For all the wrong reasons.
Iris? 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 Iris?
Oh, that was a good scream.
No, this isn't happening! There's no reason for me to go on! What am I fighting for?
Maybe I'm biased, but I think that sounds amazing.
I thought that was pretty good. But anyway, so that's obviously the good version. It's the improved version. But yeah, I think the first version was bad, but it wasn't like inhumanly bad, you know? Yeah, I would rather if they can't afford like dubbing, they just shouldn't buy properties or they shouldn't release properties with AI dubbing. Like they just shouldn't do it, right? Like just let people settle for subtitles. And if they want dubbing but they find that it's expensive, they should set aside a small budget to just hire, you know, people who are not maybe amazing voice actors yet, because I would take that Mega Man X4 original like voice over like that weird AI shit we just got. Even if they hired like a bunch of unknown, like people got to get better, you know. So consider it an investment. You might kick off like the start of some of like the next Alejandro Saab, like giving him a chance at your like cheap dubbing whatever. I just think that that's like the better choice and just more ethical to do, right? They should hire, yeah, if you hire Kathy, right? You never know. They should at least hire like a Kathy. Oh, that was fun. That was a good conversation. Okay. Let me get this back on the screen. Where's Tears of Themis? I can just get. Oh my god, I never know where anything is. All of my like sources are so the list is just so. Oh, here it is. Okay. So long. Do the scenes yourself, record and upload. Yeah. You should record and upload that conversation with Yao Yao. Like that was so bad. Oh, it was so awful. And that's actually like my first time hearing actual AI voiceover because I've never heard it before, right? And it was awful. It was so awful. I would love to never hear anything like that ever again. Okay, so we are gonna go to the night theater. Let's dress up Artem. You have with some Vin stuff. Oh, I feel like I wouldn't know if it was good or bad because I don't speak Mandarin. How was it? How was the Vin stuff? Where are we going? Theater. Okay. Surely not. What do you mean? Oh, right. Never mind. Okay. Actually, this might be okay because I just realized we're doing like role playing or something. Okay. I can't believe they actually found another use for this outfit. It was fine, just more monotonous than he usually sounds. Like he wasn't emoting the way you'd expect him to. Okay. Maybe they have like better people working on their AI fine-tuning over at Hoyo, but I still wouldn't want them to do that all the time. At least it seems like they made an agreement with him and they paid him for it, right? Because yeah, like that's another issue is definitely like should we even have the right to do that, right? There should at least be some agreement and so the voice actor knows where their voice is like being sent to and how it's being used. You listen to an AI version of the fight turn song between Obi-Wan versus Anakin. Oh. Trapped in a street corner as you head straight to Artem's car. Just a block away, the night of drama parade is in full swing. We just need to adjust the cloak a little bit, and then we're ready. Oh, what's she wearing? I want to see. I can't believe they found another use for this outfit. This is so funny. Even he's embarrassed. Even he's like, why am I doing this? Simpler time because it was just voice sampling from one guy. Yeah. One guy who like legally, hopefully, like allowed it. And they weren't like trying to and they have like a bunch of like, instances of him using like similar like lines and things that probably made it easier. Yeah. But even so, like it makes me wary. Definitely trying to create a brand new voice would be like very difficult from what we saw earlier. My god. That was so weird. Following Rosa's lead, Artem tugs at the cloak, then adjusts his sword. As if stepping off of the stage, Artem's actions remind her of when she performed in Othello with him. Both of them were roped into the performance for the university's anniversary celebration, but they worked well together and ended up winning the first prize for the law school. I remember that. Looks like the result justifies the effort. As more and more tourists stream into Theater Street, they blend naturally into the extravagantly dressed crowd. He was in jail, but he's still a really respected guy in the anime dubbing industry. Artem surveys the bustling streets, then turns with a smile and extends his hand in invitation. Yeah. May have gotten his reluctant agreement. I feel like given presumably his, yeah, I feel like honestly it probably was like, and I'm just thinking about this logically, it probably was with his agreement, and not like they probably didn't have to push too hard, if only because they were willing to, for the Japanese dub, right, put off having any Japanese voiceovers until they had money to pay those voice actors again. And with the maybe it's different because it's China. Maybe they felt like a bit more urgency because it's China. So maybe I'm wrong, right? But it does feel like they are willing to let some like time period go and redub like later, if rather than like force like voiceover. But then maybe it's because it's China that they were like, nah, we gotta do this. Because they may care more about their Chinese market. It would have been a massive endeavor to redub him. Yeah, well, not like redub him like because it wouldn't be it would be more like back dubbing, right? Like they could have dubbed basically once he was free, because probably he was gonna be like freed eventually because he's rich and famous, and he didn't R-word anyone, I hope. Parades, drama performances, fireworks shows, festivities unfolding around, and a dizzying display of sights and sounds. Yeah. Pull Artem along through the crowd, looking this way and that in an attempt to take it all in.
관광객이 연극 축제에 더 잘 녹아들 수 있도록 많은 배우가 관광객으로 변장해서 퍼레이드에 섞여들었다고 하더라고요.
Wow. What type of city or event are we in?
배우들이 분장한 걸 거예요. 가서 말 걸면 좋은 일이 있을지도 몰라요.
Scan the crowd, but with everyone in costumes, it's impossible to tell who might be an actor. It's hard to tell who we should talk to.
괜찮아요. 먼저
Yeah. I remember the tax fraud thing. I know of his voice actor because he voiced in Heaven Official's Blessing. And I'd heard that name, I think, from that. Before Artem can finish, a figure suddenly darts over and presses a mask into Rosa's hand.
베일로 그대의 얼굴을 가리세요. 오늘 밤은 그 누구도 당신의 진짜 모습을 보지 못하게요.
Oh my god. Yeah, he was the main lead. Yeah, I think I knew who he was because I looked to see who that was because I was like researching various like voice actors and stuff who were doing the dub for that at the time. Because Kamiya Hiroshi, my favorite voice actor and like my favorite Japanese voice actor, voices that role, right? He voices the main lead. And he is going to be in Go-Go Loser Ranger this season, which is great. It should be this season. So I think that arc is coming up soon because I looked up his character just to see like which character he's going to be playing, and he's going to be a really important character. So that's really cool. That makes me happy because he appeared in a couple of episodes at the end of Yakuza Fiance, and he's going to be important, I think, but because he only showed up at the end for just a few like short episodes and whatever. I was like, no, because he's just getting started. And then the season ended and I have to wait for the next season if there will be one. But then again, like, I guess he's like always somewhere. Like, he's always playing something because he's a very big voice actor. But I don't always watch like every single thing that he does because I don't always want to watch, you know, some of those properties. So, tonight let no wandering eyes behold your beauty. As the actor looks on earnestly, Artem takes the mask from her and gently fits it over her face. Satisfied, the actor flutters their fan at her a couple times and utters a few more lines before vanishing to the crowd. What lines? It's only then that she notices many other tourists sporting a similar mask. It looks like we can get souvenirs by talking to actors.
계속 앞으로 가봐요. 또 뭔가 있을지도 모르잖아요.
Yeah, let's get more free stuff. That's such like a a Chinese mentality. I'm sorry, but it's not a bad thing. I think it's more like an Asian mentality because I think my parents would do the same thing. Oh, we can get free shit. Doesn't matter what the free shit is. Let's just wander around and get it. They probably knew he wasn't going to be in jail for long, so they went with the AI Vin option. Ah. It's not so easy to find the other actors after all. At least we got a mask. Your parents too. Great. Having worn it for some time, the mask has left a faint impression on the bridge of her nose. Artem reaches over and removes the mask. When his fingers brush across the mark, an idea comes to him and he takes her hand.
이렇게 즐거운 축제에 어떻게 아름답고 고귀한 데스데모나 당신이 빠진단 말이오.
Artem? She recognizes the line from Othello. Is Artem trying to fulfill her wish after seeing that she didn't run into any more actors? Oh my god, that's so cute! Why is Artem the greenest flag? He's just so sweet. Summoning a line from memory, she meets his gaze and responds, "My dear Othello, here I come." Oh my god, look at his face! The sight of her and Artem reciting lines from the play makes the two of them dissolve into laughter. I love that this is his laughing face. A moment later, he shakes his head, breaking character and returning to his usual self. He's so cute.
아, 역시 난 이런 일에 안 맞나 봐요.
Oh my god. I really wish I could... Okay, one thing I want in this game that we have in Love in Deep Space is I want the ability to save some of my favorite like voice lines or something. I would save every single time Artem laughs. Still, it feels nice to play at something different once in a while, doesn't it? Especially on a night like this. As if to echo her words, fireworks go off in the distance, drawing her attention skyward. The fireworks show has started. The crowd springs into action, all jostling for a better view. Not to be outdone, she excitedly pulls Artem to a good spot as well. You're still thinking about Artem? No! It's so funny because Artem looks nothing like my favorite EXO, right? As you could see with his baby face. I think Artem looks more like my usual type though, right? So I'm gonna show you my favorite Longmang Shingi character, or member, not character. And let me see if I can find pictures of him that like in particular are very Artem-y, I guess. Is something the matter?
당신 말이 맞는 것 같아서요.
Yeah. So it's not like
같은 분위기엔 새로운 걸 시도해 보는 것도 나쁘지 않을까요?
yeah. So maybe not like Artem-y, but just like, you know, tall and handsome like guy. Really. Minsuk's also short, by the way. Xiumin is also short. You could look at Noir. Okay. So Artem looks gentler, right? But like I guess my usual type. Well, Zayn also counts, right? Zayn is another good example. So this is Yuno. This is more of my like usual type, probably. I had to find a picture of him that was like handsome but also balanced with gentleness. So you're thinking of Fireworks by Katy Perry because of the fireworks going on in the background. But Artem doesn't reply. Instead, he leans in closer. Fireworks erupt overhead, painting his features in brilliant ephemeral hues. Oh. When he says booing. Artem quotes another line from the play, his own feelings taking the place of the sorrow that should have suffused the line. In a corner where no one can see, she rises on tiptoes and presses her lips to his. Aww. They're so cute. Dude, that's adorable. Artem's calling. He must have finished getting everything we need for the seminar today. Oh, they're finally going to the seminar.
추가로 기재해야 하는 정보가 있어서 시간이 좀 더 걸릴 것 같아요.
Eh? Do you need me to come over?
괜찮아요. 내가 대신 기재하면 돼요. 아, 회의 일정표를 확인해 봤는데 이번 세미나는 내용이 그리 많지 않더라고요. 회의 끝나고도 시간이 충분히 남을 것 같으니 켈로시 시내를 구경하면 되겠어요.
Sounds great. Considering Kalos' reputation as an Epicurean's paradise, I have a feeling that our exploration will lead us to a specialty restaurant. Artem's soft chuckles comes through the phone.
가볼 만한 곳이 하나 더 있어요.
Ah, maybe that's the next location. What is it?
켈로시 법원 박물관이요.
Oh, or that is it.
개관한 지는 얼마 안 됐지만 수집된 법률 자료는
He's not random. I'm showing you my type. And yeah, doesn't he look like, not like Artem, but like of a similar type? It's a fairly new establishment, but its legal resource collection is worth exploring.
세미나가 켈로시에서 열린 것도 주최 측이 이곳 박물관에 대한 반응이 좋다고 생각해서일 정도니까요.
Let's stop by the museum tomorrow then.
그래요.
그래요. Has Rosa slapped Supreme Justice Brian Wing? Oh, okay. So we watched it, and we got to that. So he didn't. I think where you left off was he didn't even show up, right? So he didn't even show up, but he did show up to their house, to their home later, in order to give Artem a birthday present, and that was sweet. And then there was like a scene at the end. But it was a very interesting scene because it feels like, even though it's a card story, it feels like the setup for like troubles to come, basically. It felt like setup for more bad things to happen in main story or something like that. So yeah, bare minimum Brian. I know, right? Artem, but they did manage to ask him that question, right? And he does answer it, and I feel like Artem's family is just not great at communication. I feel like they're just not good at communicating because they seem to have very loving like feelings for each other and genuine concern from all like everyone seems to have genuine concern for each other, but they just do not know how to act like normal people. Like, they don't know how to express that at all. At least in your attempts to turn this game into FPS and he got sniped. Oh my gosh. You seem to hear someone calling out his name in the background.
내 차례인가 봐요. 저녁 시간 다 됐으니까 나오면 같이 저녁 먹어요.
Sure, I'll pick a restaurant in the meantime.
네, 이따가 봐요.
I love how gently he speaks to her. It's so cute. Okay, earlier when I was trying to do this, I could not find the brush. I was like, where am I supposed to be clicking? At least I was able to find it this time. when I was trying to do this, like on one of the other ones, like that I had just finished, I could not find the brush for the life of me. It was driving me nuts. Okay, let's see what this is. This is why I logged in, was I didn't know what this was. Oh, okay. What are we doing? Okay. Is there a tutorial for this? Oh, okay. Oh. I'm supposed to... Okay. Student Council's leadership. The Student Council of Minerva Academy is a student-driven entity meticulously managed by its members each term. It serves as a vital conduit between the academy and its student body. Headed by a dedicated leadership team comprising the president and vice president. I wonder who that's going to be. The council also has various functional departments overseeing a wide variety of responsibilities such as publicity, arts, culture, and sports. Publicity department stands out as a beacon of excellence, earning accolades as an outstanding department in recent years. Tasked with producing the school newspaper, posters, and other promotional materials, the department not only chronicles the academy's major events, but also captures the vibrant spirit of its student community. Indeed, the student council is an indispensable pillar of student life. Okay. So, all right. So student body stuff. All right. Rambling 2. This is so random. What is this? What is this event? Is this just to introduce us to the main factions? Okay, because now we have the drama club. Ooh. The merging game is back. Oh yeah, I saw that. I did enjoy that game. Suika, right? Able to re-download Themis on your... Oh, yay! Invitation is pretty like all of them have been. Yes, the new invitations look nice. Is this just set up for high school AU? I think so, right? That's kind of what it's looking like. It looks like they're just going to introduce us to each faction. So let's read it and learn more about them before we... And try to guess who's associated with what. Minerva Academy prioritizes the nurturing of students' passions and interests reflected in the diverse array of clubs available. Among these, the drama club stands out with a large number of members skilled in acting, song, dance, script writing, direction, etc. Now, we did do Othello with Artem, so maybe he could be related to this, right? Even though, like, standard, you would probably think that he's related to the student council, but... The drama club has a dedicated classroom equipped with rehearsal space, prop storage facilities, and professional-grade equipment for video recording and playback. Also, we were in a storage room with Artem in the preview, so maybe, yeah, this is a possibility. In addition, the Academy extends special privileges to drama club members, granting access to the auditorium and other venues for rehearsals at designated times. This enables our students to delve deeper into their passion, fostering understanding and appreciation for the dramatic arts. Okay, cool. So we have that now. Overseas exchange program. I wonder who's gonna be associated with this. Okay. To foster academic dialogue, enhance students' overall competencies, and ignite a passion for innovative learning, Minerva Academy has established an overseas exchange program. This program facilitates annual exchanges where selected students embark on immersive experiences at partner institutions abroad, while Minerva Academy will also host students from these partner institutions. Since the inception of this initiative, which stemmed from a visit by representatives of overseas institutions who recognize Minerva Academy as a prime partner for exchange, the program has been ongoing for many years. Over the years, 43 students have participated in these enriching exchanges. The Academy aspires to nurture enduring friendships between the institutions and sustain this invaluable exchange program for years to come. Okay. Okay. He's always the foreign prince, right? Hi, Darthville. Welcome in. We're looking at Tears of Themis. Oh, and I guess you know. I forgot to take him off the screen. Let's take him off right now. Okay. He's also done historical dramas. Oh, the funny thing about is he's a really bad, or he was. He's the person that really amazes me because I feel like he's a person who just shows you how strong willpower and hard work can actually be, because he was actually a really bad actor. Like, he was awful. His performance was like memed on because he was so bad, and then he actually but he never gave up, even though that's not even his main job, and now he's actually a decent actor. And it's honestly just through sheer hard work. One thing I always thought was really funny was that even though his debut drama, he was a really bad actor, people would still say, so like they would meme on it, but with affection. So they would like say that like you can see his passion through this acting, because even though he was bad, he was clearly trying very hard. And that's part of why I think it was also bad. But it was very funny. He does have levels of self-motivation. He is known for his passion. Like, you know how like there's that meme from Freeren, like where people would be like, you know, carrying out good deeds because they would say like, this is what Himmel would do, right? Like that guy who stopped that stabbing in public because he was like, that's what Himmel would do, right? There was a trend on Twitter where people were trying to motivate themselves, people who were going through like difficult times or hard times, or they had like a challenge like they were facing, where they would start like tweeting encouragement to themselves, and they would say something, I don't remember exactly what the hashtag was, but it was basically something like be like you know, or because I'm like you know, or because I'm you know, something like that. Basically just like saying like they were trying to get the power of his willpower to motivate themselves. That's how that's the impact that he has. It's very crazy. Been meaning to watch Freeren? Yeah, watch Freeren, it's good. Under Minerva, okay, so rich artistic culture. Under Minerva Academy's vision of diversified development, a vibrant community for art enthusiasts has gathered. Their in-depth discussions and collaboration gave rise to a rich artistic atmosphere on campus. I do think this is probably going to be Marius, in which case, maybe the student council is going to be Luke. Maybe Luke will be on the student council. The art rooms on... Oh, but we do have more of these, so maybe there will be other options. The art rooms on campus provide all manner of materials, including commonly used supplies such as drawing boards, paints, and plaster casts, as well as extensive collection of art books spanning various styles and genres. These resources serve as invaluable references for students as they embark on their creative journey. Beyond facilitating club activities for members of the art club, the art rooms are also open to all students outside of designated club hours. Any students interested in art are welcome to come explore this creative space and immerse themselves in the boundless possibilities of the art world. Luke, important, unlikely. So, well, then he's either... Well, I guess Luke could also be drama, right? Being a spy is like being an actor. Okay, but actually another reason that I think Luke could be here is because I saw a soccer ball. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out soon. Oh, so these are the 4 that are available right now. And I guess we'll see the rest of them later. So yeah, I think these do set up. Oh, you know, I think the colors are also a hint. Okay, so purple, I think that's Marius. Green, probably Vin. So we have yellow, and we have pink, red. Yeah, okay. Yeah, student council. Luke is on the student council. Luke is on the student council. Yeah. The colors are always a clue. I love playing detective, even though they make it really obvious, but I still feel really smart. Mostly because I'm not good at noticing things. So anytime I notice anything, I'm like, hey. I'm glad I noticed, though, that the colors, yeah, they do have colors. Because Artem is usually associated with, like, red, so... Luke is student council, because he also is usually yellow. Gay theater club kid Luke. Luke is student council, no Luke evil. Why do you think evil? Wait, why do you think he's evil? Why do you associate the student council with evil? It said publicity department, so Luke is reporter again. Oh, yeah, that could be true. That could be true. But why do you think evil? He got his legs cut. Oh, that's true. That's bad. Because of OnStars? Oh, no. See, when I think of student council... Oh, sorry. That was loud. My bad. When I think of student council, I think of... What is it called? Kaguya-sama. I think of Kaguya-sama. Love is War. That anime. And... So I don't think of it as bad. I do think of it as, like... You know... More like high class, rich. So it could be bad, but yeah. Yes, I have like cause I have it on rotation, right? Cause you can have the thing on rotation. So today it's on Artem with the puppy. I don't know what it'll be tomorrow. A couple of days ago it was the wedding one, the red wedding one. That was cute. Okay, so I just remembered a funny scene from the drama I was talking about at the start of this stream. And I'm gonna describe it because it was funny, and we can have this in the background. So, because he's playing this, like, genius character, right? Who, you know, is just good at a lot of things, like cooking. But he hasn't really ever cooked before, right? He's just kind of like cooking. He just like kind of thinks he'll know how to do it based on like theory, which he does. But the first time he sets foot in a kitchen is in the modern world, right? And the main girl, like, you know, has just cooked something horrible, and she's like, "Well, if you think you can do better, come in here and do it." And he's like, I am a nobleman's son, you know, so like, I can't step into a kitchen. And then she calls him a boomer, and he's like, I'll have you know that like in my time, I was considered quite progressive and forward thinking. And she's like, well, here in this time, your ideas are outdated. Do you really think? And then she's like, wait, don't tell me that you think or you believe in the like the, I guess, idea, because I guess this was an idea they had in the past, that if a man stepped into the kitchen, he would lose his penis. Darth Bill. Oh, this is called Ho's Diner. Ho's Diner. It's a Korean drama. So he's like, no, I'm not superstitious. And so he steps foot like into the thing, and he's terrified because he would burn it off. I don't know what, I've never heard this adage before, so I was like, what? And so he steps in to the kitchen, and he's quite proud of himself, and he's like, see, I can do it. And then he turns around and he double checks. Like he looks down and he checks to make sure his pee is still there. And then he looks super smug because it is. And I'm just like, this drama is so silly. And then I found out about the dismemberment like way later. You love K-dramas? Yeah, you should watch this. I think it's a very good one. It's very cute. It's called Ho's Diner. It's only 10 episodes, so the last episode airs tomorrow. Yeah. Reminds you of Sunday church telling you if you have sex before marriage, your pee will fall off and you'll end up in hell. Yeah. It's just a lot of like very silly things like that. He wants like a change of clothes, so they go out and they buy him a new outfit, and he just wants to wear a hanbok. And there's like a scene where they try to give him a haircut, and he starts getting really like, I think, upset at first because like back in the old days, your hair, people didn't cut their hair, even men, right? Because the hair is like a gift from your parents, right? It's like, it's considered very precious. So, but since his top knot was already kind of sliced off, he eventually goes along. Like he's like, all right, fine, I guess like, I might as well fit in. So they eventually give him a haircut. But it was very funny because he starts getting like really like upset and like he doesn't like literally cry, but like yeah, pathetic about it. Yeah, same in China. Yeah, yeah. It's a very Asian idea, right? To not like cut your hair. Oh, he got oh, I'm just finding out about this. But it looks like he got offered a role in another drama this year that he turned down. I wonder if it was because he was going to do this or not. Um, but the description for the role. So I wonder if this drama's out. I guess I'll look it up to see the role he was supposed to play. The role of Song Hyun-woo, a third-year probation officer characterized by a sophisticated sense of fashion and a commitment to maintaining a work-life balance. Oh, that's great.